Points of references have protected me. Daddy was intense about preparing me for all things sexual. He was intent on giving me a reference point for those scary and frankly feel-good moments that, along with pleasure, could bring repercussions and consequences. He gave me consistent teachings and references, a blueprint for conversations and encounters, the unsolicited, the curious, the inappropriate, and yes, the consensual. I have never had an experience with somebody of the opposite sex that was foreign to me. He prepared me to always love myself first and more, to be a lady and to never be anybody's fool. I believe that Daddy was demonstrating unwavering love by taking every opportunity to teach, particularly how relationships work, being clear that all of them are agenda-driven, so I'd better be clear on mine. I don't remember a time when I wasn't getting those lessons, so it's been as far back as I can remember, and nothing was off limits. My daddy's impact, not just his influence, is why I am the woman I am today. Sure, moms can teach daughters too, but hearing PooNannie principles from my daddy prepared me to effectively handle everything I've experienced with boys to men. He taught me that boys are, by nature, penis-led and often penis-driven, and how not to expect them to be anything other than. Rather, he prepared me by sharpening my resolve about their agendas while reinforcing my personal code of ethics that later became standards and boundaries that I wanted to protect. My personal code of ethics became my protection. My personal worth was tied to my personal code of ethics, and they did not permit me to be used for boys' pleasure, thinking with their other head being penis-led. I learned early not to hold that against them, because until and unless they have an intervention that teaches them that they too are worthy of more than laying and getting laid, and that sex has marvelous purposes beyond busting a nut for sexual gratification, they'd continue to see girls as objects to fulfill that purpose well into adulthood. My job was to make it perfectly clear to every boy who tried that I would not be his object, a link in his chain, or a little plaything. He was to understand that I was not to be who he considered for his nut-busting activities. Every boy I grew up with knew that no from me meant just that, no. And I learned early that my no just meant they'd keep moving until they bumped into a yes. You see, we were each being conditioned. Today, as a speaker and trainer, everything I do is about self-awareness, self-development for self-leadership. And all of Daddy's lessons were rooted in honor and esteem and respect for self first and then for others. He was laying the groundwork for who I am and what I do. Honor, esteem, and respect are the foundations every person needs to properly become self-aware, to develop self, and to lead self. Otherwise, by default, you will live somebody else's desires and follow somebody else's agenda.